Oh, we're ready. Hey, welcome to Around the Blockchain. I was getting dog hair off my shirt trying to sit down. I accidentally unplugged the lights here by mistake. But here we are. Welcome to another incredible episode of the world's greatest crypto blockchain show. Why is it the greatest? Because you guys are here. And we're here hanging out in the basement talking crypto with our friends. We're going to be joined by some illustrious guests today. We've got NFT Justin Williams, CEO extraordinaire, Vumio marketplace builder, always building. Him and DZ, always building, always creating new things. We got Hannah joining us today. Everybody's favorite neighbor, Drew, aka Drew Wider, aka Crypto Prepper, Prepper Crypto. I always say Crypto Prepper. It's Prepper Crypto.
You'll still find me. There's
and we gotta. He doesn't have a mic he can talk into. You gotta. Somebody's got to make that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
make it longer. Do you know how to do that, Drew?
Yeah, it's kind of tapped out though.
It's got another couple inches. Those last couple inches matter, man.
Yeah,
this one's broken too.
Just give it a little tug, Drew.
Yeah, just pull it a little hard. Anyway, tell everybody who you are, what your name is.
Michael King.
That's it. That's all you got.
I guess, yeah.
Where you from?
What do you do, Michael King?
I'm an electrical engineer. I'm from Lawrenceville, Georgia. I live in Loganville, Georgia.
There you go. Another Bit Squad member came for a studio tour today, hanging out here. Just going to be joining us live on the show. Just figured if you guys have any questions for him, drop it in the chat. Of course, Yummy Yum, Spectrum, Enzo Mining, Corey Harden, same OG, Manawak, Puin 78th Daily, Urkelson, Razmataz, Bazaar 369, Multi-Sig Dummy. Oh, I like that name. That's a good one. Crypto Rex, Sofa King Crypto, DZMTG in the house. We got everybody cool here hanging out in the chats. We're going to be talking about, in case you guys haven't figured this out yet, guys, I'm a sucker for 2023 predictions and top 10s and top 5s and top 12 articles. So we've got some of those today. As long as you're watching the show, you have to kind of just go with what I like. And so we've got some 2023 prediction thread here about some part-time creators. I've got some thoughts on this. We might dig into that a little bit. What to expect for NFTs, digital goods in 2023. That's why I pulled in our VP of NFT development here at Hit Network, Justin Williams, who wears all the hats. He's got a lot of good information there on NFTs. I want to get his take on it. I spun through this. Oh, well, you know, you do good under pressure. So 12 crypto predictions for 2023. Everybody loves his face. That makes it. We're going viral. As soon as you get a super zoom on Justin Williams' face, it's definitely a viral clip. So Elon Musk, we're talking about potential Twitter going bankrupt and what would happen if it did. Crypto Twitter's most liked tweets of the year. Actually, we're going to bump this up. We're going to probably talk about that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Real quick, I'm going to try not to talk about SBF too much today, but just it came out breaking news in the middle of the stream yesterday that he was working on a plea deal that has been confirmed. It looks like he's got some new things that are going to be happening very early in the year where he's going to be arraigned on things like that. I didn't hear any details of what the plea deal is. What's good, Bud Lightyear 008, like 008. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, but then we're not going to talk about it too much more. We got some housing charts to look at that we'll come back to this a little bit. It was pretty interesting. Change in existing single-family home sales during Fed tightening cycles. So this is one we're on right now, in case you can't tell. But I don't want to give it away too early. So real quick, we're gonna start with what to expect, especially since this is the title. What to expect for NFTs and digital goods in 2023. Before I dig into it, anybody, Drew, BJ, anybody want to throw out any random predictions of your own before we start dicing up this article? 2023 NFT. This is NFTs, and they kind of lump digital goods in there as well. Don't trip, TJ, by there. Oh, I'm not tripping. Don't worry, multi-sig. That's what I want to talk about. But go ahead, guys. What do you got?
I feel like Facebook is going to do good for Polygon. I think that Polygon is going to have a lot of fun with the Instagram partnership and Meta. And yeah, Facebook's been losing a lot of money on the Metaverse build out right now, but I think he's looking at a larger vision. I don't really like the Zuck, but he probably knows what he's doing more than most.
So your 2023 prediction is that Meta, both Matic and Meta, will have a strong year.
Yep.
Basically, Meta will kind of outperform the critics, and Matic will continue its.
Won't stay up.
Yeah, I feel that way. I don't think Facebook's going away anytime soon. And I think Matic is going to really benefit from that partnership with Instagram.
BJ was trying to help Justin with his mic stand.
It won't stay up.
And Justin said it won't stay up.
It will stay up. You just got to
come on.
Sorry.
You just got to think about other things.
TJ to the rescue.
I got it. No, it won't.
Get comfy real quick.
He's gonna three-way. Oh,
We're trying to position it.
Open
Guys.
your mouth. For the love of God.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's right there. It's right in my mouth.
right in there.
All right, well, Justin, I know you read the article, so don't dressed by Mac and Cheesy. Hey, where's Mac? Mac and Cheesy would be a good one to get on the show. I'd like to get his take on this. Wait, what? It's
our
not
new
time.
segment is cheese time.
Oh, wow, what the?
Come on, everybody, cheese.
Okay, I don't know what to.
Where did you find that? Oh, you did bring
my
cheese.
God.
I need it.
This
I'll
is
take
the
a cheese
surprise.
stick.
Sponsored
Hell
by
yeah.
cheese.
Hell yeah.
Wow,
I am into this.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's occurred.
Today's show brought to you
Can't give it away. You
by
gotta mute it.
Sargento.
Jeez.
I got
Look how
it.
amazing this GIF is.
Nice.
Glorious cheese, glorious cheese. America's Dairy Farmers National Dairy Board.
Talk about turning up the volume on that hair.
Oh,
wow.
That's the 80s.
All right.
Early 90s.
I have tobacco.
This is why you guys hang out in the basement, guys.
I have nicotine and coffee grounds in my mouth right now, and I'm still gonna bite this.
Why?
Thank you, Corey.
Why?
It
Do you
keeps-
even? Do you smoke?
Occasionally.
I didn't know that.
You dip coffee.
I was gonna
grounds?
say no. Drew just eats cigarettes. He just chews them up and swallows them,
It's you get more that way, you know.
and then drinks water and just
Oh my
splashes it
God.
around.
Yeah, it's
All right.
Better than booty bumping it.
Justin, I know you read the article, so without giving it away, what do you have any of your own hot takes? NFT, digital goods, what to expect 2023 predictions. I actually like that prediction, Drew. That is kind of a counter take. Meta getting crushed. I think they could do well.
Yeah.
Don't tell Ben we said that though.
Yeah, no. Remember that trip. Anyway, can we not do that? So,
Guys, I want him to come back. Don't make it a bad
yeah.
experience.
What I think is going to happen, I think 2023 across the board in all markets, not just NFT, it's going to be building foundations, user growth, getting users on, trying to get adoption on. You're not going to see a lot of like pumping. You're not going to see a lot of like large, giant 10x, 50x's across, any platform, any coin. I think 2023 is going to be building, even with Polygon. Polygon and Facebook and Instagram, I think that's going to be I agree with Drew, that's going to be the easier play for them, for Polygon, because I'm pretty sure their team can develop something that's going to be very good on the user experience, because that's what it's always about when you're trying to onboard people that don't know anything about crypto, is the user experience. How easy is it to buy an NFT? How easy is it to create a wallet? And so Facebook and Instagram, they're going to line up perfectly with that, because they're going to have the team, and they have, how many years has Facebook been out? They have so much experience in that.
Yep.
It's going to be good. So, but it's going to be a year of growing users. It's not going to be a giant year of like invest in this and get rich and all that stuff. It's going to be a year of getting us some adoption and getting people used to the fact of using NFTs and getting used to using them for things like gaming or even profile pictures or whatever.
No, I agree. It's when you're saying building users, a lot of times that's educating users, that's making better user experience like you were talking about. So I think I agree with you 100%. 2023 isn't going to be an explosive year when it comes to investing, but it could be an explosive year when it comes to actual building, growth, development, and implementation and actual use. I think we'll see the use grow dramatically in 2023.
Yeah, the numbers that they're throwing around in that article, I don't agree with. They're saying like, some brands are going to onboard $50 million worth of profits, $500 million worth of profits, Polygon's going to have 500 or 50 million per month.
I said don't give away what the article says. No,
Volume.
go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought
it's
we
good. No,
I
we'll
thought
do-
we were
no.
talking. I thought
No,
we were
go
talking
ahead.
about the
I'm
article.
going to read some of it, but go ahead.
Anyway, that's all I'll say. But I don't agree with the numbers on there. I think that's people that aren't in touch with what's going on in the global macro.
Well,
How much of the digital ID stuff do you think is going to happen this year? Or is this more a building?
I don't think any of that stuff's going to happen. The digital ID stuff until 2 years from now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be talked about a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of discussions around it. I think you're going to see immediate pushback against it. Hopefully, I would hope strong pushback from the crypto community and things like that. But over time, I think they'll implement it in this one instance, in that one instance, and then get kind of people used to it in certain use cases. And then all of a sudden you turn around like, boom, oh, here we are. They're using it on everything. One thing that I found interesting in this, and they say here, this is by Bloxworks Group, guys, which they have a lot of actually pretty good articles. I think we have another one by them today. They say this is part 2 of a 3-part series of predictions of 2023 created by the members of Brevin Howard Digital Team. So I haven't read part 1. Part of what I found interesting in this article is they're, generally speaking, and I think both Drew and Justin, when you were just talking about it, you think of NFTs, you think about B2C or, business to consumer, not necessarily business to business transactions, where you're thinking, how is it, you're going to play it in a game? How are you going to use it for yourself? How are you going to create your own? How are you going to sell your own? What is your use case going to be? But what's interesting is in this article, they start talking about a lot of the B2B, or, some of it's B2C. I guess it's big brands implementing with their super fans in more creative ways. But I think there's a lot of B2B that's going on right now that's getting, to Justin's point, is creating a lot of the setup that will allow the big implementations like Matic partnering with Instagram. That's a B2B transaction that needs to happen in order to make it easy for the consumer to get, what they're looking for. So this, and some of this was interesting to me. Like, obviously I follow NFTs, but not nearly as much as, DZ or Justin or a lot of Taco, those guys that are in it every day. But it's interesting to me, some of the big luxury brands, Tiffany & Company, Louis Vuitton, we know we got Gucci, Nike, Adidas are other ones that we've seen get involved with the metaverse. And they're implementing in ways to not necessarily NFTs to flip or to sell as investments, but just, as memorabilia, as collectibles. Yep. And they've found ways to open up new revenue streams for these brands that, to be honest, was much bigger than I anticipated. Iconic brands aren't afraid to experiment, innovate, and even meet the next generation wherever they are. We spoke about games in yesterday's prediction, and brands understand that. And so I'm curious to go back and look at part 1 of this article, because obviously they talked about the gaming sector there. He said, we spoke about games in yesterday's predictions, and the brands understand that games are the 3rd place after home and school for many Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids, and that these kids are their most important customers in the coming decade. House of Gucci knows its biggest competitor isn't Prada, it's House of Fortnite, meaning they're spending all of their time and their attention and what they care about. And we've talked about it a lot on here. What the metaverse is, in a lot of ways, is a greater care for your digital time spent in your digital identity than you have for your real world identity. So you care more because your social circle is so digitally built and online. You care more about how you appear in the digital world with your digital group of friends, what clothes you have, what shoes you have. We were showing shoes and talking about Christmas presents here yesterday. A lot of the kids much younger than us, they're going and showing their favorite Fortnite skin that they got, the Christmas, Hulk smash thing that they got on Fortnite. Like, that's what they're excited to go show their friends the next day after Christmas and hang out. And so I think they made a good point here. They know they're not, Gucci isn't competing with Prada necessarily as much as they are with Fortnite. The younger generation spent $20 billion from 2018 to 2021 on cosmetic skins, emotes, that they don't know, own, or even have any utility. So that's billions of dollars being spent, which is what we talk about all the time. Like, everybody knows Fortnite skins are NFTs, just in another form. So it says, in many respects, brand collabs with Web 2 games when their training wheels, or were their training wheels, that are now coming off as brands enter Web 3. Currently, Gucci is selling $5 digital purses to Gen Alpha in Roblox. And that's a perfect example. $5 purse, tiny little purchase. They're selling it in Roblox, but it's unlocking a totally new revenue stream. And I like the way they said it here. In the future, as those kids age and their purchasing power increases, Gucci's going to be selling them 5K Web 3 based digital twin. You're going to be getting crazy stuff in Web 3 when you have, big budgets. We've already seen it today in the NFT collectors community. Having 10 apes and having, excess is what it's all about when you're showing digital value, I feel like, in a lot of ways. Yeah. Of course, these NFTs revenues pale in comparison with top brands' traditional revenues. Gucci doing 11 billion, Nike doing 44 billion, Adidas doing 22 billion. But these brands understand at a fundamental level that there's sometimes the path to sustainable products and revenues means building culture, community, and stories first. So this really struck me, because these are big brands, and when you have almost 100% market share or market penetration, like Adidas, Nike, like globally, it's not like they're in every market across the entire planet, right? They're in the United States, they're in Australia, they're in Europe, they're in China. They're selling as much as they possibly can in all those markets. Where's your growth going to come from? Where's the next market? Oh, it's the digital commodities market, where we can have a whole new sector. Our overhead and our cost is dramatically lower, and we can now have growth on this new, digital e-goods thing. Let's compete in that space. We already have brand recognition, notoriety, etc. And that kind of got my head going. Now, do you think they're predicting a lot of this happening in 2023? It seems a little quick to me. Like, I think a lot of people are dipping their toe in and we will see it start to happen. But I think we see this more in 25, or really 2024 is when it starts picking up and taking off. In 2025, that's when the hype is really built in. But I don't know how much progress do you think we'll really see play out in 2023, Justin? Like with Matic and some of these kind of things.
Again, I go back to my original statement. I think across the board, it's going to be a year of building, and that's for the network itself. I mean, it's not just, you're trying to onboard people that are not crypto native, and then you're also trying to mesh blockchain in with a traditional Web 2 environment when you're talking about like Facebook and Instagram and other things like that. Even more so alien, introducing the people that buy Gucci into that as well. Now, Gucci does have a great brand. That's awesome. And for kids, how's that going to translate for people playing Fortnite to buy a $5 Gucci purse? I don't know, but I think it's just going to be across the board building the development that's going to allow people to be ease of use, user experience, and I think it's going to happen 24, 25. To the end of 24, 25, we're going to have like kind of a blow off when it comes to that kind of sector.
And then we got
my prediction.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good take. Bestium says 2022 liquidity crisis, ... 2023 recession. I'm going to just lean into that a little bit. If we're experiencing a recession, if we're experiencing tighter monetary policy, less money flowing around, higher cost of goods for groceries and gas and everyday purchases, do you think we'll see a major hit or less spending on things like video games, on things like digital goods? And we didn't necessarily in the past, but I think money was free flowing in 2020. People weren't working, but there was still excess money around. Do you think we could see a big hit? Now, I'm torn because it's a lot of kids that are doing the spending. But what do you any takes on that? Less spending next year on frivolous purchases like video game skins and things like that.
Well, when you see that, I mean, and I'm sure other people have takes on this too. But when you see interest rates rising up, especially for purchasing a home, people don't understand that really real estate is how money is created. And so when you raise the interest rate like that, and people can't buy homes and take out mortgages, you're basically sucking liquidity out of the entire market, not just the real estate market, not just food, not just for the entire market. So this isn't like a traditional bear market that we're entering into. We're entering into a recession. I think it's going to be more of a 6 to 9 month recession. Towards the end of 2023, we're going to see an unlock and we're going to start having some release. But for a while, I think we're going to see all money, all the liquidity being sucked out of every sector, traditional, blockchain, real estate, and anything like that. So I think for sure it's not going to be this massive, like everybody's going to be buying a lot because there's not going to be money to buy a lot and people don't want to go into debt.
So basically you're saying we're going to have a 6 to 9 month recession.
Double nice.
All the liquidity is going to get sucked out and then there's going to be a big release at the end.
A big giant release.
That's what I thought I heard. I thought that's what I
heard.
With
an O face. Can we pull it in an O face?
Yeah, I got you. Hold on. Working on it. Give me a moment.
Drew, did you have anything on that, or Hannah, were you going to jump in? I saw you guys both, everybody reached for the microphone at the same time. So.
No, I mean, he said basically kind of what I think.
You agree?
Yeah, there's not a bunch of extra bucks running around. The media is going to keep people's heads low through 2023 for the most part, and then turn the printer on right as no one's paying attention, and off to the races. The corporations go on the next leg up in the market.
Razmataz, 2018 was a liquidity crisis or liquidity crunch as well, right? And yes, 2018/19, and but then they turned the printers on like crazy for all of 2020, all of 2021, and 2022. They started backing off of that. So yes, it was liquidity crunch. They doubled the money supply effectively, and here we are. So this, oh gosh,
oh yeah, oh.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
All right, next, moving on here to the next point they made. Brands bring millions of new users to Web3 and generate upwards of 500 million on NFTs. This was Justin and I kind of say seems like a big number there, but we'll see. But this is something Reddit and Nike, something they've been doing, getting away from luxury wearable brands like, and obviously Nike's a wearable, but Gucci and some of those other ones we were talking about. But Nike's been doing some interesting thing, following in the footsteps of early successful innovators such as Reddit and Nike. 185 million in digital collectibles revenue have been done. Now, again, those were in Reddit was in a bear market, I guess, but many large brands will offer digital collectibles items, aka NFTs, to their customers to onboard them off non-crypto native consumers into Web3. Do they talk about somewhere in here? They talk about Dot Swoosh. Dot Swoosh is Nike's new program. Didn't you say you got an email or something about this, or an article, or did you play with it at all? Or
yeah, I got an email and it gave me like a code to join the beta. So I signed up, and they have a whole website. I think it's swoosh.nike or nike.swoosh.
Swoosh.nike.
But they had you like pick your username, and then it has you like create a logo, so you can like put the check or put something else like the word Nike and pick a color as the background, and then it tells you like click next and we're gonna mint it for you. So you like create your own profile. So they're like, they don't explain NFTs, but they're like, you're gonna mint this, and then you hit next, and then there's a digital wallet already integrated.
Very cool.
I forget what it's called, BitGo or something, but they just like have people sign up for it like without even really explaining it. And there's an Instagram already, and they're doing like what is Web3 type of like infographic posts. And I think they're just like setting up the foundation.
I do too. Yeah. So it says how it works. Dot Swoosh is a new community experience designed to give you the opportunity to co-create the future of Nike. So it looks, like they're going hard on this. I'm very intrigued to see what they do with it. They've done very innovative stuff in the past. They've led the market when it comes to, they were the first ones to really start doing brand sponsor deals back in the day with Jordans and a lot of those. Swoosh is I'm very, very intrigued by this. I think, and this is what they're talking about here. People will follow this trend, and a lot of people are collectors, and people will get involved in this not even knowing that it's NFTs, to Hannah's point. Like, you're going to be minting something, you're going to be interacting with what you think is a Web 2 website, not even realizing, I am on Web 3 because I do have a digital wallet built in, and I can buy and sell and trade these collectibles. It's very, and I know they've done stuff where you can create your own shoes and do, your own customizations. Robert got me some for Christmas that said like hit network and stuff on them. So I could see it very easily coming with matching NFTs and NFTs that have future value. I think that's something we're seeing a lot more in the space, where you're creating an item that has unknown future value, and you attach it later on with something unique and something creative. I think that's what Gary Vee did a lot with VeeFriends. He didn't go into a lot of detail on what it was going to be, and then it's created further and further. And I think this is the same kind of thing. Somebody who said it there, companies that are not afraid to innovate will lead the way in the metaverse. And I agree. It's going to be people that are playing with things, that are breaking things, that are testing things. So yeah, keep an eye on the Dot Swoosh and a lot of other things like this. So
also PA King or Earth King subbed for 3 months.
Oh, hey, let's go. Thanks for the sub.
What?
And yeah, huge shout out to everybody on here in twitch.tv. If you guys aren't watching, if you want to watch this live, I mean, obviously you guys are live here in the chat, but twitch.tv/bitboy_crypto is where to join us live. If you're feeling it everywhere else, just smash the likes, pass it around, tell everybody to come watch us. So wait, what?
He read your reviews on LinkedIn.
Yes, Sofa King Cryptic. You read all TJ's reviews on LinkedIn. He's liked by his previous supervisors like a lot. Highly recommended. Yeah, well.
No, that was TJ just using ChatGPT.
No, well, when you help all your previous supervisors set up their LinkedIn, then you can. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. No, those are all legitimate reviews. So some really great people. Yeah. There's one in there talking about me knowing stuff about blockchain way back in the day. Shout out to Brock Thompson, who's we still hang out with. He's over at ESPN now these days. But Web3 provides a platform for consumers to truly own their digital goods for a wide swath of brands to enter digital goods space. Just as 2010 was the year of every company building a social media strategy, 2023 will be the year that every brand, starting with luxury and streetwear, develops a Web3 digital goods strategy. What do you guys say? Agree or disagree with that?
Not quite, in my opinion.
I would agree with.
Facebook came out in 2004. Twitter came out in 2006. A lot of brands still don't have a Twitter strategy.
There you go. Boom. Yeah, I agree. I tend to agree. I think she's right. 2023. It says right here, 2023 will be the year that every brand, starting with luxury and streetwear, develops Web3. No, I think the most creative, innovative, hungry, forward-looking brands will start to do it in 2023.
Yeah.
I think 2030 is probably when we see every brand start doing this, and where it's like undeniable, because people are going to resist change as long as they can. And this is a big change. It may not seem like it, but for people running companies that have been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years to try to put it all in a digital landscape, it's very bizarre, I think, for a lot of different brands. So I see us further out than 2023 on that. Such a strategy is a must for any brand that seeks to meet the next generation of customers where they are, such as kids aged 12 to 17 who are already spending an average of $92 a month on digital goods. This link to that? I want to see
That's
that.
quite a.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a big call.
It links to a Wall Street Journal article that's probably talking about kids to 12. But I'm not too surprised by it. 12 to 17, like that age demographic. I think I've mentioned it on here before. Influences billions of dollars, is the number1 spending demographic on like entertainment, games, concerts, all that sort of stuff. So Randall Scott says not just change, but learning curve for Gen X and some millennials. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a steep learning curve. And when you've been doing something well, yeah, I wish I could spend $90 a month on anything.
I was like wondering where they get $100 a month to.
Let's see. Urkelson says Gen X is what's holding back the space more than boomers. Boomers are mostly retired now and not running the show. True. I think Gen X is pushing the conversation, though, in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't know. It just depends on how you break those generations down, I guess. Yeah. They should just put it on Moonbeam.
5 years
Yeah,
old.
you got to get a mic.
I mean, I'm 35 years old, and like for me, NFTs, I don't personally see practical use to a certain extent, except for like I know in the future it's going to be like your real estate and things like that are going to be on NFTs just to kind of have it as like something printed and something kept up with. But I understand that. But as far as like just buying a picture, I don't know. I don't know why I don't get it. But you know, when you hit 30, it just
you're not alone. You're not alone. A lot of people don't get it when it comes to buying and selling and flipping and collecting. I think for that's either you're into that sort of thing or you're not. Just like flipping sneakers or cards or a lot of that.
Yeah, it's like it's collecting anything.
Yeah,
really. I mean, a lot of people don't collect, baseball cards, but there's a lot of people that do collect baseball cards. Art is the same way.
But you think about the CEOs of these companies, though, they're all at least probably in their 50s or 60s most of the time. So the fact that they're even running with this, I mean, they have to see something. I mean, it would take me some convincing, but if somebody convinced them, I mean, it seems like it's going to have a future.
Yeah, I think it will, and I actually think Generation X and the millennials, and really it's millennials, I guess, right now are driving the ship in a lot of different ways and pushing this conversation forward. If the CEOs are in the 50s of a lot of these older companies, a lot of their executive team or right below them are in their 40s, which are going to be potentially, is that millennial these days? That's pretty big range on millennials. I know I'm kind of right in it, and I'm 33, so
go dogs.
Go dogs. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, he's a Georgia graduate right here. Everybody's rooting for Georgia this weekend at the Peach Bowl. I'm sure. No hope for Ohio State. So.
And then Mondelez Crypto is saying that Israel's already doing car titles.
Yeah, and so that's what he was talking about. Like digital record keeping, it makes a lot of sense on NFTs. Car titles, vital records, we hear a lot. Birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, home titles, land deeds, all that sort of stuff. Go Gators. Well, hey, we got a Gators guy here.
Florida man.
Yeah.
Stick with your colors, I guess,
We had that BMW news come out today. It was like for Thailand, they're doing a loyalty program with NFTs.
Really?
Yeah. And then Kia is rolling out an NFT small pilot program today too. So
yeah, I think 2023 will be a year we see a lot of things roll out with very different, all over the board use cases or little to no use cases to some of the points. It's really just going to be a novelty, a collectible, a marketing thing for some of these brands, just to stay current, to be current. And I think that's okay. And I think playing with it, testing it, breaking it, having zany ideas of implementations of NFTs is what pushes the space forward. And then something cool comes up like, man, we would have never thought of using an NFT like that. And now because you used it like this, I can think of 100 other ways I can take that and build on it, just like they did with, we've been doing this whole time. Like just the first time somebody came up with a generative trait collection, boom, you saw millions of other people do all sorts, not millions, you probably saw thousands of other people to start doing other things with it. And I think we'll see, steps like that taken in 2023, but it'll still take years for it to really hit mainstream adoption. Now, I feel so cliche anytime I say the phrase mainstream adoption at this point. But
didn't we look at? I remember talking to Justin about this when Corvette did the NFT, and you could have got the car. Somebody in chat was talking about that.
Yeah, God, it was like you bought the new Corvette and you also got an NFT of that Corvette with it. I don't think it had a very good luck selling though. I think they had to drive the price down pretty low because it was done kind of at a bad time in the market. But
yeah, and that's what's going to be interesting with those kind of NFTs is we're going to see, like a lot of concerts I've been going to recently say, oh, you get this free, just go claim your free NFT collectible. It's going to be interesting to see who cares and about what and why, like what motivates people to action. If it's always just getting okay, I was going to buy a Corvette anyway. They gave me this NFT. Do I care? Do I not care? Does it have any value? Does it not have any value?
I think that's just their way of getting people onboarded, right?
Yeah, I do
getting
too.
people
it's
used
marketing.
to. Well, it's not just marketing. It's getting people used to the concept of Web3. Like,
And
we had a meeting
wallet.
with the Hawks. Like when was that? Like a year and a half ago. They wanted to do an NFT at the games, and we were like, we had all these like badass ideas to monetize and make money doing this drop with the Hawks, but they were like, well, we don't want to make money doing it. All we want is our fans to actually get used to the idea of what an NFT is.
Yeah, that's a great point. Training your users to have the familiarity and not to be afraid of it, not to think, oh, if I click this link, am I just getting scammed right now?
Right.
So no,
because they know like in a year and a half, that's where tickets are going to be, and that's how loyalty programs. You get a free soda every time you come to a game now because you have. They know that's what the end goal is, but they're not ready for that right now.
Yeah,
I would say too, like you look at baseball cards, you get a rookie card now, it's probably not worth a damn, but then, in 20, 30 years, if not longer, I think that's probably where the real value of NFTs is. I hate to say it being that far out, but I do feel like maybe in like 20 years, something you get now might just all of a sudden skyrocket in value.
yeah.
No, and the fact that it's on chain and you know what it is. So I've been collecting Magic cards forever, and you have the reserve list. But there are a lot of people who are like, the reserve list never goes down. I mean, a gem rated Alpha Black Lotus, you're looking at 200 grand. Thing is, they're getting really good at faking that, and a lot of people are starting to now get out of reserve list cards. So it's like once you do get into collectibles like that, that's the beauty is how many there are, and it's authentic.
Yeah, you don't know how rare they are. It's like with baseball cards, to your point, and the 90s always
when they just printed it.
Yeah, and I give that example all the time. Like in the 90s, the baseball card companies, they would see, and it was a scam, they would see which rookie cards were skyrocketing, and all they would do is print more. Yeah. So with blockchain, that's not possible. And like, I have this NFT, I can go check on Etherscan, there's only this many of this particular NFT. So like the built-in rarity is already there. You know how much it's worth, you know how scarce it is. So I think that's what these companies are seeing. They're like, okay, like there's a real future here. And collectors are seeing that as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just ate a whole cheese stick, so I was trying to swallow that.
You deep-throated it.
They're pretty good.
Nice. All the way.
Very
A couple things in the chat. Earth King said our local movie theater just did an NFT, free popcorn for the next 5 years, plus red carpet showings. Somebody else, where did it go? Somebody Big Hands Dan said NFTs will become the de facto way we interact with things in the future. I imagine digital things. What do you think about? And when he said that, my brain immediately went to like, okay, NFTs realistically is the technological upgrade of the QR code. It's not a QR code. Obviously, a QR code is technology used to scan it, but if you're thinking about it, generally speaking, that's what you're using to access wallets and that sort of thing. And it's rather than just scanning a generic QR code, like you mentioned tickets right now, like anytime you're going in and out of an event, they're scanning a QR code. Right now, it's a QR code to an app like Ticketmaster or applications that don't interact with each other, don't really talk to each other. Like it's a pain when we go to I have 6 different apps for tickets and parking between the Hawks and the Falcons and the Braves and all that different stuff. It'd be great if there was one central, Ticketmaster database that could have a ticketing system, that application that worked across all platforms. And to Justin's point, you're able to scan it and know, okay, this is exactly, it's an authenticated ticket. It's going to get me in the door. It doesn't matter what website it came from. It doesn't matter what broker it came from. I can tell by looking at the chain that it's valid, and I don't have to, you can have you could have tons of competition for Ticketmaster and StubHub. Anybody could spin up a decentralized ticket app as long as they could get access and rights to the tickets and sell on a ticket exchange, basically, which would solve all sorts of problems of market manipulation between StubHub and Ticketmaster and the ticket brokers. So, interesting implementations can come out of this stuff with NFTs, and I think we will see it once we get people trained to use them, to interact with them, to kind of what Justin was saying. When you're used to using an NFT at events and you're getting something free and fun right now, but in the future it's going to give a lot more data for providers as well. It's going to make things operate a lot more efficiently, a lot more quickly. Even when we were talking about the vital records, having everything done online in a digital way, it'll just speed up the world.
Yep.
So Polygon's NFT volume catches up to its business development. We won't spend too long on this one. Just quick, yes. I mean, obviously everybody knows they've been doing tons of partnerships. Coke, Instagram. I don't know if they mentioned them in here. Meta, Supernets. But anyway, tons of business development. Do you think they have explosive volume growth in 2023? Relative.
That's the number I'm talking about, where it says it's going to go from 7 million to 50 million just on Polygon per month. That's not going to happen. I just don't see that happening.
I see like 20. That's what I would.
I could see a double 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't see it going to. There's just not that much money. There's not going to be that much money.
Yeah.
There's not going to be that much volume in NFTs in general.
Period.
They'll probably pick up a lot of market share, I would say.
Yeah. User base might grow just while it's downloaded and getting used to it, but they're not gonna. I don't foresee that quick the volume going up.
Yeah, and this is, obviously, Ryan Watt, their CEO of Polygon Studios, former global head of gaming at YouTube, to continue bringing prominent partnerships to Polygon in 2023. That's something that's interesting to me. We know YouTube's putting a big emphasis on gaming going into the future. They want to. They're taking direct aim at Twitch and TikTok and some of those other places. They're the premier place to be for content creators when it comes to monetizing. I would be very interested to see some type of Polygon YouTube NFT integration. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. Polygon YouTube integration where you've got some creator incentives built directly into YouTube utilizing NFTs, and that could really, when you think about gaming, right? Twitch has some stuff gamified here. If we could have an NFT that allowed you guys to interact and gamify and change specific things in the content creation, I think YouTube and Disney have, the two most interesting angles when it comes to NFTs and interactive content, I guess, if it's the best way to say it. You can use NFTs to give your super fans ways to influence the content that's being created. I think is very, very interesting. So this was an interesting take on it. Apple battles to protect its 30% fee on digital sales and potentially launches an internal NFT marketplace. Now, this was an interesting take. We know they've run into issues with Fortnite in the past. They were just in the news recently. Was it MetaMask or Coinbase? I think they were the Coinbase wallet they were having issues with, where they wanted that 30% fee on transactions getting sent in and out of wallets, even when sales weren't occurring. Do you think 2023 could be the year we see this come under very serious scrutiny? Obviously Google gets wrapped into this too. Google Play Store, Apple Store, only real two app stores for downloading applications. There's a 30% tax on any in-app purchases that are in any of those stores, which equates to, basically a tax on, mobile apps for Google and Apple, and it just lines their pockets. Could we see that come under fire and potentially threatened in 2023, Drew?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think there's going to be enough monetary reasoning to change it up. I think they will do it eventually once they see the market picking back up, and probably maybe the end of 23. But I don't see this 30% thing being a big tug of war until we get closer to 24.
What do you think, BJ?
I totally just zoned out thinking about NFTs. And
I knew it.
The argument.
I knew it.
No,
I love doing that to somebody else, because when you're on the board, it's not necessarily your job to pay attention all the time.
Because I was looking at this. It sounds like a competitor to have easier to access things with NFTs not actually being a big thing, but it's just like literally look at Apple Pay.
Apple Pay, yeah.
Like anything that makes things more convenient. People are lazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but what was your actual question? Sorry.
No, well, do you think Apple will have to battle to protect their 30% fee on digital goods? You know, but like what we saw with Fortnite, like we saw with the Coinbase wallet and some of these applications that have digital goods being purchased, do you think anybody will threaten that or they'll just hold it strong?
I think they'll concede to it because they'd rather have some money than no money. And then there's like Fortnite and everybody else, like they can go somewhere else. Like they have their own platform. Apple is not necessary. I'd be actually interested to see what part of the revenue it actually is. But yeah, no, they'll eventually concede and probably be like, cool, like just give us our 3%. But 30, it's like F off.
Yeah,
Well, they're talking specifically just Web3 in general, any kind of in-game purchases, any kind of, even exchanges like Coinbase, they're having issues with. I think there's too many easy workarounds for it.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
Wallet Connect. I mean, there's way too many ways to not have to use anything in Apple Store. There's applications on the web that will allow you to connect a wallet using Wallet Connect or other things just like that allows you to bypass an application just like that. So I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. I hope Apple tries and loses. You know, they're kind of a dinosaur when it comes to their thinking, and they're going to have to like kind of let go of some of the control.
I think Apple's been having to do a lot to stay relevant, so I think NFTs are right up their alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the other thing it says here is potentially launch an NFT marketplace. What do you guys think about that?
Well, that's just going to be them trying to take the 30%, another way of them like securing their percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It's money
And
they can
there's
burn.
more. It's just like we were talking about earlier with Blur and OpenSea. We weren't talking about it on here, but like talking about why people are using Blur and why people are using OpenSea. Well, you can get a discount if you go to Blur because they don't get kicked to the actual creators. So people are always going to go where it's a little cheaper. So if they don't have to kick the 30% back, whether you're a user or a seller or a buyer, you're going to go somewhere else. If there's a way to go somewhere else, you're going to go somewhere else. No matter how difficult it is, you're going to go somewhere else. Blur is very clunky, and people are using Blur. So that's my thought.
Did you have something you were going to say on Apple or Apple Pay?
I was gonna say Apple is gonna have to. I feel like they're gonna have to pivot because people are starting to like really get tired of a lot of the things that they're doing, like buying extra storage and doing all like these little fees and just everything that they're doing. Everybody I've talked to is like tired of Apple.
Well, Google's doing it now too. I mean, I have everything Android. Google's doing the same thing. They're making you buy backup storage when, like, a couple of years ago, it probably wasn't even that big of a deal to them. And now they're like, oh, Apple does this, so maybe we can get away with it too.
Yeah, I agree. It's a duopoly in a lot of ways. People say monopoly. It's Apple and Google. They have the mobile application market on lock right now. And yeah, there's ways to work around it, to Justin's point. But like, you can have somebody go to your website and download your application if you want, but it's very hard to compete at scale globally if you can't have your application in the Apple Store or the Android store. And, just that alone, there's some, hoops to jump through to get an app into those two stores. And they get a lot of say on what is in your app, what data they get, what data you can and can't collect. And I think we will start to see, I don't think we'll see it. I think more to Drew's point, I don't think we'll see it change in 2023. I do think we'll see it continually come under fire. I think Elon Musk was pretty hard on it on Twitter. If Twitter starts doing a lot of in-app purchases and transfers and value transfer within the app, and Apple starts putting pressure on them about it, which I think happened, right, with the $8. Like that's another thing that kickstarted it. I think they will either have to. I think kind of a combination of Drew and BJ's. They will have to concede somewhere. 30% is an obscene number. 3%, 5%, maybe that's more realistic. And I think that's probably what we would see, even to round out everybody's point. You get a new competitor coming out that competes at scale.
Elon phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would. And like, that's what's so tough is they have such a huge head start. You need a big, I don't even know what it would be, to be honest.
I don't want an Elon phone. I mean, his cars blow up. Imagine what the phones do.
Well, Samsung's phones blew up at one point too. So
yeah, but that was kind of fun.
They're still here. They're still
kinky.
ticking. Because that's what I was thinking is maybe Samsung, maybe Sony could compete. But again, these hardware providers, they've got a sweet setup on the software side too. Why would they, bite the hand that feeds them, so to speak? All they have to do is keep feeding you hardware. Yeah, I know Windows. Microsoft came to mind. I was like, yeah, give me that ain't gonna happen.
No.
Amazon, yeah, it's tough. So I hope we see maybe we get a decentralized marketplace. Hey, there's a thought, like that it could compete with, and people are using it and it builds. But again, not in 2023. And this is why decentralization, you'll hear me say it over and over, matters. This is why we fight for it.
Sorry, Crypto
Oh
Thorn.
gosh, Crypto Thorn.
Nasty boy. Is DJ blushing?
No, I'm just
Confirming.
distracted. I was about to go on a whole long rant. And I was like, what's the point? Guys, yeah, decentralization matters. Make the world better. So we don't have duopolies like Google.
Oh,
and
blew your load on that thought.
Yeah. All right. I guess we're just going to stop talking about this. So I hope they don't make an NFT marketplace. They even say it in here. We really hope this prediction doesn't come true. But if what Apple's recent overtures on NFTs, including its most recent move to increase the cap on App Store purchases from 1,000 to 10,000 and rumored opening up the App Store to third-party developers in the EU due to competition regulations that come into effect in 2024, are just the MacGuffin towards the launch of an internal closed garden NFT marketplace. And I have a feeling, and I don't see major tech players right now creating marketplaces. I see them waiting a couple more years and buying marketplaces.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think people, they're going to wait for the market to settle on 2 to 3 or 4 different players, and they're going to acquire ones that they think have good tech that they can roll into their user bases and scale it up. The Solana phone. Yeah, there you go. That'd be a good one. I think the biggest hack is going to be jailbreaking current hardware and turning it into just hardware for decentralized applications. That's an interesting
thing.
Jailbreaking devices.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, do it all the time.
Yeah,
but-
I don't know if it's a thing like at scale legally, but sure, it's a thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's legal. It's definitely not legal.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on to something else. Let's see what else do we got here. This is a little fun thing. We're all on crypto Twitter here. So crypto Twitter's most liked tweets of the year. Do you have anybody have a guess? Oh, anybody have a guess?
Well,
Probably something I posted.
Put it in the chat, guys. Who do you think would have posted some of the most liked tweets of the year?
Elon.
Elon, yeah, that might be one of them. CZ might be one of them. Anybody
Tate.
else?
Oh, the Twitter files girl or guy.
I don't know if Andrew Tate got up there, but I know that he's been.
Oh, he did one yesterday that was great.
Yeah, he's been even his comments on other people's far
So
out.
we got a lot of Elon.
far out
Greg, BitBoy.
Greg.
Biden.
Yeah.
Biden gaff tweets.
I'm gonna wait. Come on, hit me with a few more because I know the answers. I already read the article, so I'm not gonna say. Mr. Beast, and these are from crypto Twitter, guys. These are tweets from crypto Twitter, so these are gonna be
Sam,
crypto related
SBF.
people. Yeah, he said SBF. He might be one of them. Elon. All right, we're gonna jump in.
Let's see.
Elon Musk, first place, 700 or almost 800,000 likes
Is that before or after the bots?
for this tweet. FTX losing over $1 billion of clients'
Wow.
funds. Senators calling for FTC to investigate Twitter.
That's
That
the
was
most
big
liked.
when obviously when the Twitter acquisition was going on and he was getting, they're all upset because he has a bed in the headquarters of Twitter, meanwhile SBF's running all over town doing who knows what. So that was the number one liked tweet of the
I think it
year.
deserves it, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
come on.
does.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Elon, he's had some bangers, that's for sure. He could probably
Pun intended.
yes, the pun is always
'Cause
intended.
they're having
Would
stacks.
that not show too that if
Those
it's
are
specifically a
actually,
crypto tweet, would that not show that crypto
rhinos.
adoption is probably getting bigger?
It is, yeah. It absolutely is for sure. I mean, and
There's-
Elon
there's
Musk,
so much FUD.
Yeah.
750,000 people.
750,000. And Elon
At
Musk
least
definitely, and that's probably
get it a
millions
little
and
bit.
millions of views. Number 2, we've got Vitalik Buterin coming in, and at the end of the merge, and we finalized happy merge. All this is a big moment for Ethereum ecosystem. This is a appropriate number 2. It's probably the biggest technological development of the year when it comes to the blockchain industry. CZ coming in number 3. We need less divide in the world, more building. I wonder, this is on that day, the Nomad crypto bridge had lost more than 190 million to hackers. Their largest, so there's a lot of attacks going on about whose fault it was when this Nomad hack happened. And he was just, just saying, look, we don't need to point fingers. We just need to come together. Nayib Bukele, the prime minister or president or I don't know what it is in El Salvador.
He is so amazing.
I
think it's
love this
president.
guy.
I think it is president.
He
Just
is the
bought
president.
the dip, 500 coins at an average price of 30,744.
That didn't age well.
Yeah, he was hoping that was the bottom. Catching a falling knife there. He's learned. It's been
Wait.
fun watching nation states and billionaires learn a lot about the market cycles of Bitcoin. As Michael Saylor
It's
bought.
like it repeats itself or something.
Well, yeah, and they chase the
Historical.
bottom. I mean, they do the same thing we all did the first time. Like, oh, it's dipping. and then
Can't
you buy
go
the dip.
lower.
Yeah, and then you buy the dip, and then eventually when you get to those last 2 or 3 dips, you realize you don't have any more money because you bought all the other dips along the way.
Those
It's
Colombians do be chasing those bottoms. Wow.
no, they be making them, right? Isn't that where you go to get
Colombia?
Brazil? No, it's Brazil, I guess, right?
Salvador.
Brazilian
No,
drug.
no. Colombia too. They do a lot of plastic surgery there.
There you go.
It was
That's where you
crazy.
got your plastic surgery, right?
That's where I got my
Yeah.
fake butt and calves.
That's where you
I
go.
got
He's
my-
trying to compete with Frank, but he
Yeah.
went down there just
These
to get
calves are fake.
Yeah, we modeled Frankie's calves and sent it in a mold with Justin so he could go down to
I
Colombia
want
and
the
get
Franks.
the yeah.
NFT coming soon.
Give me the Franks.
Give me the Franks.
It's crazy that the president of El Salvador has an AI profile picture on Twitter.
He does. Yeah.
That's cool. I
He's
guess.
he's very
with it.
in keeping up with the trends, especially with crypto Twitter, Bitcoin
Look at that
Twitter.
tape up. Too.
I love how he's.
Look at that army in the banner.
Yeah.
I like him so much because of how angry he's making the IMF.
Is that a video
Yeah,
game?
exactly. He's pushing against the IMF. Famously, as soon as they made it legal tender in El Salvador, IMF said, "Oh well, which has implications to the IMF because their charter says they will support or back or reserve, I think, something that any nation under their charter is any of their legal tender. So it basically indirectly should have forced the IMF to put some Bitcoin on their balance sheet, which they didn't really love. Isn't that right?
Well, and I think another thing is the IMF relies on these countries as a reasoning for its incoming liquidity that it receives from the world reserve currencies and just countries leading the world around the world. And they're going to lose a customer in 10 years. If El Salvador's leaning into Bitcoin, they're not going to need their charity handouts in 10 years from now. I think that's what makes them so mad.
Yeah, I agree. And then fifth place with 87,000 likes. MicroStrategy founder Michael Saylor in fifth place with a tweet that we can probably all relate to today after a major dip. Monday morning, it's time to get back to work. Michael Saylor, if Bitcoin dips too much lower, we'll be back to working at McDonald's. Poor guy. From billionaire to cashier. But that one always resonates. If you guys don't get, if you guys are new here at Crypto Twitter, anytime the price dips, we always joke about having to work at McDonald's. So there you go. Now you get the joke. Michael Saylor's in on it. So there you go. That's the top crypto Twitter tweets for 2020.
I was going to ask, is El Salvador in BRICS yet, or are they not on the BRICS coalition yet?
No, they're not on the BRICS coalition, but they are courting it. So stay tuned.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that'll be quite a bit of countries by the end of it.
I just put SBF in the Sailor photo and said, how do the bulletin points work? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Yes, they work. All right. This was something from Satoshi Flipper. I just wanted to remind you guys. He says the same thing kind of twice here. But this is just a good reminder. I know a lot of you guys probably feel this way. If anybody's considering selling now because you're scared of next year, it could go lower next year or whatever, just keep this in mind. Over the last 12 months, Bitcoin has lost 53,000 from its all-time high. 53,000. So why are so many still triggered about us losing another few thousand? Like if we drop from, say, 16 to 12 or to 10 or 14. Shouldn't matter at all in your life portfolio at this point, yet I can feel through the monitor how badly some of you want it. Like so many people are waiting for it to be the absolute bottom to purchase. This is kind of saying the same thing. If you're still holding Bitcoin and more bad news comes out, selling now makes no sense. So if you're holding Bitcoin right now and you're scared and you're unsure about next year and you hear some bad, you heard this FTX stuff scares you maybe or something, maybe if Genesis goes under, we were talking yesterday, digital currency group, Barry Silbert could be in question, which again, is scary for the crypto industry. Not scary that it's going to go away, but scary that it could go lower and last a long time at low prices. But still, even with that, and I agree, if you're holding crypto right now, selling now doesn't make any sense for the most part. The bulk of the risk is now behind us, and the bulk of the reward is now in front of us. So don't try to catch the exact 100% full payoff, and that's something you hear me say all the time. When Bitcoin is under 20K and drawdown's over 75%, you buy, you don't sell. When you can remind me of this in 12 months, and I would even say 24 months or longer, you guys are going to be very happy. If anybody's buying right now, 24 months from now, you'll be really happy. I'm going to retweet that one. So
I've got a lot of coworkers and friends that I've talked to over the last few years. And of course, when the bull run was going on, everybody was trying to get into it. And now it's like you talk to a lot of my friends now, they're like, no, I'm not buying. I'm not buying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, people expect crypto to be J.G. Wentworth. It's their money and they want it now. I mean,
yeah.
and it's, you got to have patience.
877 cash now. Yeah, I know that one. Well, this is the same thing. Like we always talk about the cycles on this channel. You know, Crypto Rover, will it be different this time? You know, we've been this is a trend line we've been bouncing off for a long time now. Obviously, you can wick below it. You know, now this is
that's flu season right there.
This is
I think so.
Yeah, that's the May 2020 right there.
That was hot.
May or March, May.
So this is where, let's see, 2018, 2019, you know, so this is the 2018 crash right here for the most part, and then sideways. There's that fake out in 2019 to 14K, boom, corrected. And so we're right on trend, guys. You know, like, yeah, we could wick below this, but are we going to fall below it and stay below it forever? Most likely not. Most likely not. So
that 3 dots right when I bought my house.
The 3 right here? Yeah. Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a great time to buy a house. You probably got a really good interest rate.
March 7th, 2020.
Yeah, what interest rate did you get?
Yeah, it was like 3 or less. I don't even remember. It was low.
Sick.
I think it was less than 3. I thought. I don't know. You got yours 6 months later, I think.
Yours was 3.
We live in the same.
But I was 2.9.
Heck yeah.
Like 6 months after that.
Hey, there you go. 2x on a house. That's not too bad for just a down payment, right?
That 3 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 3 spot people were making. I wasn't surrounded by a bunch of crypto people. They were all making fun of me for buying cryptocurrency during COVID. Everything's going to zero. Didn't you know? Didn't you hear? The world's on fire. How about yours? And you know, I didn't listen to anyone because I don't think anyone that I was surrounded with was correct. And you know, now they call me lucky or whatever because it's house money. And I'm just going to keep going. Just keep leaning against the narratives and going my own direction.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Crypto Thorn, you've been waiting for your Chipotle for an hour. I ate Chipotle right before I ran down here, so sorry about that.
Rub it in.
Yeah, I was. That was
Rather than rubbing it
a little
off.
bit of a flex. Yeah, I eat Chipotle, no big deal.
No biggie.
Hey, pull that chart back up.
Fine.
Because they were talking about buying, you know, in 2020 at number 3, whether it was a house or crypto or whatever, buying assets.
Yep.
If you're looking at this chart, you know, where are the places to buy? Number 1, clearly. Number 2, clearly. Number 3, and if we're sitting right here at number 4, even though you're feeling all sorts of fear right now, it looks like a pretty clear place to buy.
It feels the same.
Yeah, exactly. It feels very similar to how we felt, you know, December 2018, early 2019. And again, I want to remind people, 2019 didn't exactly feel fun. You know, it felt slow and boring. But it was a slow grind up. I mean, if you're looking at, well, I mean, this part was fun. This part tripped us out a little bit, but this part wasn't
me
fun.
because I was ready to buy, and then it, you know, started cooking up again, so I had to be patient.
But speaking about, you guys were talking about real estate and houses. I wanted to touch on this one. This was from Dylan LeClaire. I've seen, now this is on single family home sales during the Fed tightening cycle. So this is just really in the last 8 or 9 months, basically in the last 8.5 months, new home sales, which this isn't too much of a shock to me. Existing, no, it's not new homes, single family. So it's all single family homes, new and used. So but it's still not a big surprise to me, but I wanted to get you guys to take on it. Obviously, we're seeing the rate at which homes being purchased falling by approximately 30% in the last 8 months, with the rates going up astronomically. It's not too much of a surprise. Takes on real estate market 2022 or 2023 and beyond. I'm about to sell my house most likely because I I don't think the price has caught up necessarily with the market. But what do you guys think? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say real quick, today Yahoo Finance on my phone while I was watching the live stream said that it was like the first time in 4 months that the housing market's actually leveled out today. So
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different data points when they look at the housing market. So you got to be careful. There's sales, there's construction, there's absorption, there's a lot of different things. The absorption rate is one of the ones that I think is the best indicator, which is the amount of inventory on the market divided by the rate that it's being purchased. You don't want it to be astronomically high, you know, like 6, 7, 8, 9 months is not great. You want it really 2 to 3 months of inventory on the market. So that's one that I keep an eye on. The sales, it matters, but only it matters in the listings. Like if listings are slowing down and sales are slowing down, it's really not as bad as this graph might look.
Well, one thing that's interesting to me is I used to do electrical design for multifamily apartment complexes, and I was talking to one of my old buddies, and he said that the amount of jobs they have on hold right now is like insane. So it seems like multifamily is kind of taking a step back. And I mean, you know,
Interesting.
the price of lumber and things like that, you know, has been going down. So I guess that's been helping a little bit. Or has it been going down? This guy would know.
Yeah, it's adjusted from what I heard. I mean, it was at astronomical prices a year or two ago.
%30 higher than it was
In 2019.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Going for $5 and in 2020 it was now $55, $65 in Atlanta.
Wow.
And now we're finally back down to
So we
25.
got it. We
to
5x
$20.
and then correct back down to like a 2x.
Yes,
you
but,
know.
I
so
mean,
it's still up, but it's not as up.
It's still up and it'll never go back down to what it ever will be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a gallon of milk.
Mm-hmm.
You used to be able to buy it for 20 cents. Now, good luck getting it cheaper than a gallon of gas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what happens when you double the money supply. It's not as much the goods getting that much more expensive as it is the dollars being worth that much less, you know, so, or gas or everything, as somebody said. Yeah, exactly. Everything, you know, same thing when your house is doubling in value or the dollar's just getting half as valuable. You know, it's like that the value of the house is still the value of the house. It's just there's a lot more dollars out there now, so you can, you know, it gets trippy when you get into all that, you know.
Did anyone else see I think it's the EPA coming after the trucking industry over concerns over asthma in the future?
No way.
Yeah, so like we keep seeing these shots at the trucking industry and diesel production and gas, and you will expect those inflation numbers to return or exceed what we previously saw them if we continue this EPA rhetoric. So enjoy.
Yeah, but they're not saying anything about the Corexit and the Gulf where the oil spills have happened that have been messing with people in New Orleans.
Yeah. No, it's always a double standard, and it's always, you know, make noise over here, distract from over there, you know, say what you want over and over and over and over so people accept it. Cryptothorn, do you all think incomes will ever catch up to inflation? No, I don't. Anybody else?
Design.
Yes, it's absolutely by design. What do you got? Anybody else have a different take?
I mean, my raise last year was probably the amount of inflation, so I don't know. I guess it doesn't really even out though.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. If it was
You got a
somewhere around there.
20% raise?
Oh yeah.
I have a career that I probably would never be jobless.
Oh, TJ just found my favorite porn site.
Yeah.
This site turns me on a lot. Let's look at it.
WTF happened in 1971. You know, this is it right here, guys. This is why, you know, here's the compensation since 1971. You're up plus 115%. Productivity is up almost 250%. Let's see, wages.
But USD's backed by gold.
Real
How do
median
people
wage.
still say that? I know, but people still think it is.
It was like a 5-minute speech that Nixon gave about the change, so I can understand why it went over their heads. He used some big words, and then people tuned into their favorite football game.
There you go. Income gains widely shared in early post-war decades and gets bigger and bigger. I mean, you can just go down and look at, you know, graph after graph after graph showing the separation here. Income share to the top 1%. You know, so no, I don't think it's ever going to. I think, and I think we've absolutely locked that in with what we experienced in 2020, 2021 with the massive printing and the real estate stuff. I think I'm a little worried. So the values of real estate could potentially be under pressure right now. But if I look at what happened in Canada, like the way the government programs came in and bought up all that real estate and drove the median home price astronomically through the roof to where it's almost impossible for Canadians working and living in Canada to be able to purchase a home for themselves. I think that's what we're starting to see here in the United States. And we're over the next 6 to 8 years is going to be the death of the American dream of home ownership, I think, for the younger generation. You're going to see a lot of perma renters, in my opinion, because I don't think their wages are ever going to catch up to what it takes to get a mortgage, especially if they don't drop the mortgage
I don't think the
rates.
dream's dead. You will own nothing. And you will be happy.
Yeah, that's the new dream. You will own nothing. I mean, well, and it's already it's getting programmed into the mindset of you know, mobile mentality and digital nomad, and you know, I'd rather rent for 30, 60, 90 days in this place and then be able to move over here, or you know, and I just think we're going to continue to trend in that direction, and it's going to get harder and harder for young people to acquire real assets like real estate, like Bitcoin, like gold, because they get pushed so hard in a different direction. So
Bitcoin or bugs, baby.
Bitcoiner box.
Have y'all talked about how Saudi Arabia is allowing the yuan to purchase oil in the last 3 weeks?
Drew's.
that's
I didn't know that was
Yes.
the last 3 weeks, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was like December 8th, I think was the exact.
Yeah,
date
it's
or
been
something
going
like
on.
Interesting.
They're
Yeah.
not liking us. OPEC is not enthused with the U.S. right now, and Saudi Arabia relations with the U.S. are absolutely in the gutter. So yeah, you can expect gasoline to return to
Well,
high levels.
I just think the biggest issue is the world reserve currency not being the U.S. dollar and like the way of life that we have now. I just feel like we are in for a world of hurt if we don't figure something out. And I mean, unfortunately, in my opinion, I know a lot of people here or some people here aren't a big fan of XRP, but I think potentially they could figure that out and fix it.
Potentially,
Yeah,
potentially, or they could make it worse. You never know.
Or
you
pull
know?
out. Isn't there like 200 years worth of oil under Texas? And we're just like, I feel like we're trying to drain everybody else of oil,
Yeah,
so
no,
we're
we
the
like
last ones with
we
oil.
like digging in other people's backyards
Right.
for our things.
Which, you know, if you scale it out long term, game theory wise, may not be a bad strategy.
I agree.
Get all,
it
we
just
print
sucks
worthless
for us.
money, we print worthless paper and take their real assets, and then we sit on our real assets, and then they realize, like, wait a minute, they're just printing insane amounts of money. Why are we giving them all hard? You know,
I mean, it's a
assets?
genius even villain plan.
The
It
price
is.
of oil it's always like, you know, for the most part it's always going up. So I guess we're just trying to hold on to it till it's at its like legit peak value and everybody else is out, and then they're
Exactly.
gonna have to come to us.
We'll use all their oil and sit on all
but
ours.
do
Is that the
Teslas
big
use
green
oil?
deal though? Is that the whole big green deal? Is that why we stopped pumping?
Probably.
That's
Oh,
not what.
sitting on-
That's not what they're going to say. We stopped because we're trying to save the world. Because if everybody uses oil, everybody's
But
going to
that's
die.
the real big green deal.
It's
is
the
we
big-
want to win the game in the end.
Yeah.
It's the brown deal because they're sitting on the thumb.
We've been in a trade war for
Teslas don't
years.
use oil, right?
Yeah, since the Cold War.
The production of Tesla uses quite a bit of oil.
that makes sense,
And
yeah.
wind turbines use tons of oil to
Yeah.
produce. Wind turbines never pay off the amount of oil that they use creating them
Nope.
in the energy return that they provide. They're actually like 5 years behind their payoff level on the average life cycle of a wind turbine. It's a joke.
And everybody knows that, you know, they burn natural gas to charge electric cars. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I
to
used to
make the
hire
chip,
them.
like the
Yeah.
lithium mining, everybody, you know, getting the batteries and all the materials in the batteries and the carbon and all that kind of stuff. It's it all, guys. To live on this planet is to displace things. It's just the way it is. Like humans, when we move and we interact with anything, it's gonna have cause and effect. That's the way. That is the laws of nature. We have cause, there is an effect, and it's all about trade-offs and knowing what those effects are and understanding what your effect is. Which again, I don't want to turn this into a whole climate thing.
I could keep going. I just posted about cobalt. I see you talking about cobalt in the chat. Go check out my TikTok.
Have you guys seen the new?
Oh, did you
actual
see the
salt?
cobalt thing?
Oh, I've absolutely
Joe Rogan
seen
clip with
we had a
the
script.
mines?
Yeah, we wrote a script when I first started like a year ago about lithium and cobalt. We never released it. But yeah, it's absolutely disgusting.
That should go viral. That's insane.
Have you seen the new salt batteries? And I realize salt is a general term, but specifically the sodium chloride batteries.
No.
Have you seen these?
Interesting.
Yeah,
What?
that's new stuff coming out. The chemistry bro might know about it, but yeah, it's like lithium. As with so many technologies that should be dying, except there's so much money in it. It's like between high capacity capacitors, the actual sodium chloride batteries, and everything else. It's like these technology shifts should eventually happen. I mean, granted, money is always a thing.
Yeah. Well, in chemistry, bro, and we'll wrap up after this, but I do agree. He says it's a process. As things get more renewable energy will continually get used to set up more, and we get away from oil. But it was out Kickstarter for all industry. Basically, what he's saying is, you have to innovate, just like what I was saying with NFTs. You have to innovate and create and find use cases, and then get better over time. It's the same thing with renewable energy. It's going to be a lost leader to start with, and it's going to get better over time. I'm not against all concepts of renewable energy. I just wish there was a lot more intellectual honesty. Nuclear. There's a lot of stuff with
There's
fusion
the new
and fission,
reactors.
and yeah,
that are
exactly.
actually cool.
So we're getting there, and it's moving in that direction. And I just wish there was more open, honest discussion when it came to energy, and not.
Yeah, I just wish it was. Yeah, I wish there was no politics in it.
Exactly.
Then we would understand what. Was
I
going
wish
on.
it was a scientific approach method where you're asking questions and you're doing experiments and you're testing and you're doing let's try to find the best solution. Let's not fund the research that we think gets us the results and the answers that we want because we have something set up already to, benefit us.
Has anybody seen those new fusion reactors though? It uses deuterium, where typically
Deuterium.
Yeah,
Sounds
deuterium.
fake.
cool.
So it's a hydrogen with an extra proton, I believe. But typically you're heating something and then spinning turbines, but what this is doing is it's fully symmetrical. It makes two pieces of plasma with magnets and then basically crushes them together. And then the magnetic fields that those produce are actually moving the electrical current within copper wires around. So you're removing the turbine and everything else in this single contained system. But the company's on, I think, their 7th version, and then they're hopefully going to commercial ones in the next few years. So technology's slowly getting there.
Yep.
It's interesting. I'm with Sofa King Cryptic. I mine unobtainium, and I'm sticking to it. So
Unobtainium?
Unobtainium, yeah.
Dude, I want some vibranium.
All right. That's all we have time for today, guys. We got to go do other stuff. Big Hands Dan, Big Brain Biscuit, Crimson Caravan Company, Razzmatazz, you're a baller. Wait, no, was it Razzmatazz that said he wishes he was a baller? Where'd it go? Yeah, you're a baller, Razzmatazz. Oh, there he goes. There's Chemistry Bro hitting us with more chemistry. Corey Harden, Puin 78th Daily, PA Earth King, Manowalk. We love you guys. Come back, hang out with us. Twitch.tv bitboy Twitch.tv/bitboy_crypto. Hang out with us in the future. Smash the likes, subscribe, post notifications, go live notifications, all the different things. If you're on audio, we love you too. But huge shout out to a Bit Squad visitor and his friend on the side that we was talking to you guys about construction stuff that you couldn't see. The voice of God himself. Always fun hanging out with you guys. We're gonna be rating Joel, right? Go hang out.
We're gonna rate him. And just remember, fluoride is the most electronegative element on the periodic table.
Fluoride.
That'll be on the next.
Your pineal gland.
Rating.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Felicia's. Oh God, how does this end?
Never know.